Hey everybody, welcome back to the Spinner Rack. I'm here with the boys. I got Cal and Petey. Say what's up, gents.
Yo,
Ready to rock.
Hey, it's burning up the internet right now. What are we talking about? The death of the Justice League. Is it a cash grab by DC, or is this going to be a fundamental change in the whole series? Hey, I'm here with my boys Petey, and Cal to talk about it. Hey, what's your take on it, Cal? Let me hear your madness.
Well, DC has been guilty of doing the same hits since Crisis, and we see that they're going to keep doing it, but they're spreading it around this time. Instead of just killing Superman again, they're going to kill the entire Justice League. Now, we all know Death of Superman was a really big hit for these guys, especially when they needed a really big hit to put themselves, give themselves some distance from both Marvel and Image Comics at the time. And I can't say that I'm not interested in seeing what's going to go here, but from what I was talking, from a little bit of discussion I had with you, it looks like this is going to be paint by the numbers. They'll kill everybody off with the exception of the character that they actually care about. They don't want to kill him off because he's carrying too much of the weight right now. And eventually everybody gets put back in. But this was some stuff that they had been planning on doing from about 2018. And I'm always, I mean, that stuff that's in the pipeline, it's all got to come out. I guess that somebody must have done some covers or something, and they were just like, look, we gotta do this. We already said we wanted to do Future State, so we got to do that.
What about you, Petey? What's your take?
I mean, definitely agreeing with Cal. When I first saw it, I did they killed the so-called the Detroit Justice League back in the 80s. But I mean, the death of is a big thing, and there's no sign of you know, ending doing those sort of things. And at the same time, you also have what the Superman creators did. They not only did the shock value 6 to 7 part death story with a crossover in it, they also did the follow-up stories and the replacements who came. That was a strong period for DC. And as far as ultimately when they got to doing most of the story outside of the return of Superman, which I think the Image guys make a too big a deal that it was going to be making them so much money. It's you can't things that don't sell, they just don't sell. At some point, you get caught with a ton of what's it, Dazzlers in your comic store, and they don't sell, and you were expecting a guaranteed sell. There's not much you can do. But storytelling wise, the Superman creators did a cash grab that had stories. So I'm not sure. I don't think this is going to be comparative to that sort of thing, but those are the ones you could say possibly did it the best. I mean, obviously the one which was just mainly story wise was Death of Phoenix, Death of Gwen Stacy. Even the more, but both of those had some Office things to it, where they were trying to say go somewhere different. The other Burn Claremont was more on the lines of, the shooter trying to punish Gene, but ultimately they figured the way to do it, and it led to other stories. The Superman creators are the ones that say, "Hey, if there's going to be an event, we're going to make it an event." So I don't know if the lofty goals is to meet that what they did, but I don't know. I can't tell you. But ultimately, the people that complain, because there's people saying again and again, oh again, that sort of thing, and it's just like, all right. It's not like the people on here aren't going to be the people aren't going to go out and buy this stuff. That's the hard part. So I would be in line to say it's being creatively bankrupt, but this is what people do now. So I can't fault them for people following, buying the later Secret Wars comic books that were done by Marvel. Like what can I say to that? It's going to sell. It's going to sell. That's what's going to sell. So you're going to keep doing it until people stop buying.
I mean, that's I can't necessarily disagree with all of that, but I think that in terms of the story here, we have to decide. Like, I think that probably the main thing that we're going to talk about is who is a member of the Justice League right now, right? And if that's the case, who do we think is going to end up passing away, and how they will impact the death of them, how will they impact the whole Justice League universe and the whole DC universe? My thought being that normally they wouldn't want to kill someone from the. I mean, normally they would want to keep one of the Trinity members alive, and of course, if they had to save one of all of them, it would have to be the sells the most, the one who has most of the titles, the one who everybody loves, the one that consistently rates as one of the top comic book characters and IP characters overall. That'll be Batman, you know. But if Batman is allowed to live, will that influence how the whole Justice League will go? You know, will he be the one now deciding who will be the new Superman and who will be the new Wonder Woman? They do have characters in the background that right now who technically could take over some of those roles because if you're going to reformulate it. But that's if it's a Batman-led situation, you know, where in reality it will be Batman and the rest of the new Justice League surrounded around him. And that's an interesting.
I think you're right. It's going to be Batman.
Well, I mean, I don't want to throw everything in, but I'm just saying it could be Batman. But
No, it's Batman.
It's going to be more interesting though if, and Cal, you said this, and I'm giving you credence. That what if you don't bring back any of the top guys? Right now, who's in the Justice League? Right? If if you bring back Superman or Wonder Woman or Batman or Green Lantern or I think what's the name of the Green Lantern now? The brother, what's his name? Stewart.
John Stewart.
John Stewart or Martian Manhunter. Those are some big characters. Then you throw in Aquaman, right? Flash. These are all big characters. I think if what's the goal of DC? If their goal is to bring up a whole new lineup, you know, to helm all these products that they have so that they can sell more comics. I think that's something to do. They have replacement Batmans. They have replacement Superman, Wonder Woman. They have replacement for almost all of them. Aquaman, Aqualad, everybody there. Who doesn't have replacements? You know what I'm trying to say? And that's what we
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I mean, well, you have others. You know, I was reading an article. They're talking about Zatanna. They're talking about probably she'll be the last one left. Probably will be Black Canary. Probably will be Hawkman, or probably will be.
They're not getting rid of Batman. They're not doing it.
I mean, I think that's probably something they do. But you know, these guys, they're constantly mixing it up. We were talking about Rebirth, but
do you think they're going to get rid of Batman?
I think it's low on the probability that Batman would be. I mean,
so that's a no. So since that's a no, why don't we just deal with why we're not going to get rid of Batman and who might be on the team as opposed to, you know, stretching this out like taffy. They're not getting rid of Batman because if you look at all the stories they got going, in the Superman stories, they've already set the groundwork where you can take Superman out. Okay, he's already only appearing in one of his 2 books. They already gave one of his books to his son. The other one is dealing with him being on some planet with no powers and so on and so forth. So you can already take him off the playing field. The same for Wonder Woman, same for, I think, The Flash, all these other cats, they've already laid the groundwork for that. The only character who has none of that groundwork laid, Batman. So he's not going anywhere.
But it's Batman, they keep talking about having other Batmans. Recently, they haven't been saying anything about that.
Not going anywhere.
There's so many Bat titles, we know what's going to happen. I'm just saying, yes, I think if we look at it in terms of Batman, yes, he's going to win. But then the whole narrative shifts because now he's such a strong presence. He now becomes a leader of the Justice League, who probably already was, but now he becomes a more dominant figure in the Justice League, and he can shape it however he wants, basically. Well, he just say, hey.
Why do you keep talking about him shaping it, though? Creating and bringing in a new Superman, deciding who's the new Superman, that type of talk.
Well, the group, when you have the current Justice League, they came together, right? But now, when Batman is left, if it's Batman, then you're going to have to say, let me choose this person. We need another Superman. We need another Wonder Woman.
Like he's some sort of fascist dictator when it comes to
he will decide
outfit in the Justice League? No, it's either you can be on the team or you can't.
No,
how does Batman, who literally has no powers, okay, and is on this team simply by the grace that everybody else allowed him to be on this team, is now going to decide who's going to be on the team? You're showing your horns are showing there. Your horns are showing, Mars. Okay.
I said he's one of the senior members of the Justice League, one of the founding members associated with the Justice League, and I think it's pretty obvious there. That's if we go down the Batman route. If we don't go down the Batman route, there's a whole nother issue there. Like, who do you think?
It's gonna be Batman. Stop it. You already said it's gonna be Batman.
Hold on. So we went down the Batman route. Pete, who do you think it would be advisable if we change the whole universe now? Because this is a universal change. You know, who would you think will be left over?
The point of doing a story like this, which was the point of like doing a Days of the Future Past, right?
Right.
You find out that the hero's not. That's why it made sense for Kitty to be the one and the only reason why Wolverine's alive because he's back in Canada, and he hasn't been using his claws when he comes into it, but he's sneaking in and out of the U.S. Right? He's always been able to get out of cages, but he's not using his claws. But the idea is that Kitty was the person, so you would use someone that would be on the outskirts, the same like so you can wrap a story around the person, like a human character or someone that's just not as big as the other characters. But when you decide you have to do Batman, that means um, we know this is gonna get some money, but then at the same time we want to make sure it doesn't flop afterwards. So Batman's a detective, so he'll find out that stuff when you can have. There's other detectives that you could use, which are I think obviously doing like what the Nathaniel Dusk in the zero what's the name Doomsday Clock.
Doomsday Clock.
Yeah, so if you do something like that, where like even to me is like I couldn't connect with the story, but ultimately, if you're worth your salt, you can decide that hey, this is an important character, and I believe in my story, and I can do this. So I mean, ultimately, you should be able to if you're doing crafting a decent story, you should be able to. I mean, DC introduced even though they had Superman S on all those characters, they were unknowns, but they could have just flopped that sort of thing. And there's no.
You mean with Steel, Cyborg, those characters?
Yeah, those ones, whereas they were carrying the other titles for a little while. And that's wasn't that was pre the Age of Apocalypse, right?
Yep.
So we had other characters taking on where Marvel didn't actually have they did alternate versions in the X-Men thing, but this is the first where you replace the lead with new leads, and you see Spider-Man I think did it for a hot second too later. So there's some things to be able to try to do something different and not try to do Batman and the Outsiders type of deal in this one to say, hey, here's Batman bringing all these new guys. So I don't like the idea because you were going to be waiting for the originals to come back because they always that rot that lays in to say, hey, Kyle Reiner is so much better than Hal Jordan. And he's like the best. He's even better than John Stewart, because he kind of doesn't have the hangups that the two of those guys had. It's like, when they were first introduced, they didn't really have hangups.
But Peter, do you really think? Look, they already have some of these teams already pretty made. You know what I'm trying to say? First of all, like I said, John Stewart's gone. They'll probably bring in Naomi. I think they had was it Future State where they had?
I'm out. The name Naomi comes. You have to drink some hard liquor.
They already have some people already set up to do these things already. The Teen Titans theoretically could do it.
Can they do? You're saying you want an investigator, right? That's what you're trying to say. Why can't we have Jason Blood go after him or Dr. Occult or something?
We're talking about the team. That's what we're talking about. We're saying what happens if the team goes away.
What is Naomi? You get to throw out Naomi, and you get to people my ideas.
All right. You know what? I'm not gonna knock it like that. All I'm just saying is that
you're saying they only have the only detective they have. When every comic book character has some points where they have to figure out a story. Batman is just the best at it, right? That's his thing.
What I'm saying
is he's second. He's second best. Detective Chimp.
If you're doing hey, no slight on Batman. Look, I'm just saying, if you're really talking about Batman not being there, then you have a whole Bat family of characters to go through. You know what I'm trying to say? From Nightwing.
He's not doing it.
Darwin, not Darwin. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. They have the different Batmans that they can probably get. So I don't think there's going to be a problem there.
They're not doing it. Why are we wasting? But they're not doing it.
So
this guy's holding. How many different Bat titles do you have out there? They already streamlined all of these other characters. They're not doing it.
Okay, so
come on, let's just move on. They're not doing it.
Continuing with that is if
he said move on. Continuing with that.
The possibilities are endless. Hey, they could put Batwoman if they want to. Who knows? They could bring back Batman 2099 or whatever. But
they're gonna do. Wait. They're gonna do what? They're gonna. When was Batman ever? When was Batman ever in 2099?
Sorry, not 2099. Spider-Man. I'm saying the.
You talking about Digital Justice Batman? Which Batman are you talking about?
There's so many. I'm just losing my mind on them. But
let's do Gotham by Gaslight is going to be the guy. Yes.
At first, I was thinking they would, maybe they would like to do the other character because killing off the Justice League should be killing off the Justice League. That means your Magnificent Seven, okay, or your Knights of the Round Table 12 all of those guys got to go, or it does not have the weight it's supposed to. But they did say one person is going to survive. Okay, so the most likely person would be somebody like Zatanna. So you have to form a group without those core members that everybody's familiar with. That's great. That's ostensibly what should happen. However, you can see where they're going with it. Like, they're not getting rid of this guy. They got, what is it? They put all this stuff out. They're pumping out all these books with him. What, they have nothing down the pike to explain why he would not be there. They're not going to do Nightwing. They did that already. Okay, they're not doing it. They're not doing Damian, where, you know, they didn't do anything. They did the stuff with John Kent that you would have to do for that to happen. They aged John Kent so he could take over. All right, so he could take over for Superman. They didn't do that for Damian, which would have been the more natural thing to do, because there was already a storyline where Damian was Batman, where he was older and he was Batman, and the fans would definitely want to see more of that, because that was a very popular issue. Here, it's Batman's going to be around. They'll probably, you know, I think they will do what everything Mars said. He'll be the fascist, deciding who gets to be on the Justice League. He'll be the one running the show, and that'll run as long as people can tolerate it. What I really am hoping is that they do it with Batman, and that a lot of the readership does give them the backlash that they deserve. Saying this makes saying that this makes no sense. This makes absolutely no sense that the weakest member on the team is the only guy alive, and that, you know, you've got a core of characters here. It's supposed to be the death of the Justice League, and, you know, so you killed off all the other members and turned it into what? Batman and the Super Seven? I'm really hoping that that might be some of it. But hey, what do I know at this point? Because these guys have decided to hitch everything up to the Batwagon, and, you know, and just yeehaw over there, and, you know, go homestead over there into the sunset. So let's see what happens. But it would be extremely disingenuous on our parts to try to play this off that somehow DC has a bigger plan, or they're going to try to use this type of thing, or Batman variant, or what have you. They're not killing them off. I mean, I'd be shocked if they did. They're not killing them off. They're going to keep them there. And then let's see how fans react to it. And if fans just go along with it, say, yeah, we want to see more Batman in the Super 7, then that's really the state of affairs for where DC is. And they have a problem, because that means they have only learned how to sell one character.
Hey,
that's Batman. Yeah.
they could decide. I just shot you guys a picture of the Justice
Oh
League,
God.
right? The current membership of it right now. So what you can see right now is that if you look at the characters who are right there in it, you know, who would be if they decided to take care of most of those major characters, you know. I still think there's a possibility. I think the
Why
majority,
couldn't you have given us this article?
dude, it's like the
You got an Entertainment Weekly article, and I'm posting up the CBR, which is half dead. Thanks.
All right, so we got the 10 characters. Okay, of the 10 characters, the person you would probably think would probably be Zatanna. Maybe who's never had a chance to lead? Zatanna, or no, Black Canary's had a shot. She's had a shot to lead. The Green Lantern has to go. So you would think, yeah, Zatanna, or maybe Hawkgirl. I don't think they ever had a chance at leadership. And
I'm
everybody
reading
else,
that story. I'm reading that
everybody else
story.
has
I
had a
like
shot.
that one. I like your idea. That's a great idea, having Zatanna do it. We're done.
or outside possibility. They may say, hey, probably need to make it more in line with the Arrowverse, and boom.
But-
All right, you sound like no. You gotta stop. You
Yeah.
sound like You sound like Grace Randolph now. We gotta stop. Okay,
And-
we got exactly. We can't start going down these rabbit holes of doing string theory. No, we got all the information right there.
No,
Okay, we
can
cannot
get-
go in.
No,
We're not.
we can get more than one opinion. We don't have
The
to.
Spinner Act believes in fact and reality. We are not postmodernists. We're not going down rabbit holes. We know what's going to happen. It's all right there.
I told you when we first talked about it, I think it's going to be Batman. But I also say that there's also alternate theories. There's a Zatanna alternate theory. There's a theory that, hey, it could be one of the groups probably will step up to do it. And lastly, I think, hey, it could be the Arrowverse. You never know. You know?
Why would they do the Arrowverse?
You know? Started over with him bringing everybody together.
But it makes no sense to do the Arrowverse. The Arrowverse, it pretty much wound down a long time ago. If you were doing it in connection with the Arrowverse when it was at its height, makes perfect sense. Why would you do that now when the lead show for the Arrowverse isn't even there anymore?
That's a good point. Hey, I'm just throwing out theories, bro. I'm trying to do. What about you, Pete? What's your take on that?
I already like the Zatanna. I like that. That's an idea for me that would work for me. And she's a fun character. Like when she's, you know, the close. I mean, I was always a fan. Um, the closest was a couple of, like I just wish they would do a little more with her. They kind of start and they get some interest and they do some things, but then like the closest they do, they had a perfect team on it. They got Grant Morrison and Ryan Sook, and then she's like got her own Robin that she has to train. It's like I just want Santana right now. I don't want her training the next person to do the legacy stuff. Let's just get some. This would be something that would showcase her, and then you get to see them. Well, I guess they'd be dead. So how do you bring them back? So it had to be some sort of event to bring them back. But I mean, I don't know. It could be
Just
that would
bring
be
the Scarlet Witch. Just bring the Scarlet Witch over to the DC universe and say no more dead Justice League, and we're good.
Yeah, I mean, you could do any of that stuff. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, what can you do? Like, ultimately, it's hard to say because the Justice League basically is one of the outside of Flash, really restarted the comic thing to say this group stuff works. And then, even though we had stuff like the Legion of Superheroes that was always had a cult thing, and then it slowly Fantastic Four and that sort of thing. So the Justice League has a history, and then it was kind of lost for a while. They had some, I think, post Perez being on. After Perez, it got the numbers kind of was going up when Don Heck was drawing it, but then it was kind of out of the way. We had a brief period when we had the funny Justice League, and then it was gone. And then there are people saying it can't be done. And then Mark Wade and Fabian Ascenza came along and said, we're doing a mini. And they had a couple other creators who had these open deadlines, which never get done. But the Wade and Ascenza did the Midsummer's Nightmare, and the thing went gangbusters. So they followed up with Grant Morrison, and that went gangbusters. For a long time, it was back. And now it's not back. It had a little push with the rebirth, or maybe I think the Jim Lee thing probably did okay, and
That
then
was actually one of the smarter moves. That was one of the. I thought that was one of DC's smarter moves at the time because they had done what is it? At the what was it? Close to Crisis. I don't remember what the Justice League was like. I don't know if it was Detroit
it
or
was
what have you. No, yeah, they were like still like
Detroit.
it was Justice League, but it was kind of like all right, we got a couple of the major players or one, and then we got these other guys over here, and let's see what happens. And then it got shut down for Crisis. It comes back with Keith Giffen, definitely more of a more humor going at the end of the day. And a lot of people don't realize the Justice League was selling pretty well because you had Justice League Europe, Justice League International,
Oh.
you had a Justice League Task Force. It was a bunch of titles that were going on, and that ran as far as it could. That went as far as it could, and it was just out of steam at the end of the day. And then they did the whole Justice League Midsummer Night's Dream, and that was. I mean, I remember reading it too. I was just happy to read something with the characters who I think are the Justice League on it, and the numbers were good. And instead of doing the normal DC thing, is oh wow, this sold pretty well. What should we do? Let's bring back the Detroit League. They said no. Let's actually go with this. Grant Morrison did the whole. I mean, Grant Morrison's run pretty much, was definitely well received, but his run solidified like years of Justice League of a Justice League book, that did very very well. That did very well for DC and retails so poorly now. It's amazing that book was so popular and they never tapped anything. They never tapped any of those storylines which resonated so well with the people who were reading it. It just fell by the wayside. But definitely one of the better. That was definitely one of the better moves DC did, where they saw something. It was it's like oh wow, guys really vibe with this. All right, let's do more of it. Let's give them more of this and put the right guy behind it. So that was pretty. I thought that was pretty well. That was very actionable, and they knocked that one out of the park. Now they're gonna kill everybody, but they're gonna keep Batman alive.
Well, I also,
I just shot you a pic. If you take a look at the pic,
oh
you'll
God,
see that the Batman is actually may not be alive because one of the variant covers that they're going to be putting out is you have Aquaman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and Superman. Those coffins are all showing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that gives us the thought that Batman may not be around now. So
Yay!
Yeah, don't believe it.
Well, whether or not it is,
Yay!
Dan Jurgens, of course, was involved in this, so he's going to make
We
sure.
see we see 5 coffins there. Okay, that other image that you showed what was it? Was it 10? Was it 10 heroes altogether?
We're just showing the whole Justice League. Who's in the Justice League right now, right?
Right. So, but total it was 10. It was 10 people, right?
So the mystery is who the 5 of those 5.
It was 10 people, right?
Yeah,
So we see 5 coffins there, and we don't see those other 5 people.
because the mystery is who's going to be the one who will be the only surviving one. So I guess that's where.
Yes, and the surviving one is right there, Batman.
Do you not see the coffin? This means these guys are definitely gone, right?
No,
The
it
remaining
does not.
5
You just said it was a mystery.
No, I said the mystery for the remaining 5, the ones that they're not listed. Which one of those 5
God.
will be back?
Nice try. That's not what you said.
I said that. You just weren't listening. There's a difference. So
Okay.
I think this gives us confirmation. But then you also see the host of heroes that they can choose from to probably bring in.
Spit.
So they have Green Lantern.
Oh.
Why do they have Green Lantern there? What was another?
I think I had like 5 or 6 Green Lanterns. Killing a Green Lantern is meaningless these days. And everybody's got their favorites. Oh, we killed Hal. That's great. Now I get to see more John Stewart. Oh, they killed John Stewart. That's great. Now I can see more. Who's it? Jessica Cruz. I've been waiting to see more stuff with her.
Right.
Well, that you're gonna get me started again. Another
Earth has like, how many Green Lanterns are there on Earth? Like 9? It's like we're the most populous. We provide more Green Lanterns than any other planet. Than any other planet that the Guardians protect.
This is the article Marge should have given us to start this thing, but he's gone.
He'll be back.
So we have this. Wow, they're going for 75, right? Superman died in 75. Oh, these guys are fighting it.
I'm here, man. Don't be starting stuff with me, PD.
I didn't get to insult you yet.
I'm fully here. Look, let's just wrap it up and say here. Mars is once again right. He's saying what he's saying right here. The possibility of there being a Batman-led team, if Batman survives, is there. 2, the very fact that there's other possibilities with the remaining 5, since we do see a scene of 5 coffins. And 3, we can outside it could be taken over by another team.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think we should look at this article and get some more information. I think that's what we should do.
Yeah, we already read the article, so we don't need to look at any more information. It's settled. Okay.
Yeah, I think we're not going to listen to you. I think we're going to look at this article and look at some of this information.
You don't want to tell me you just want to just rock. I gave you options. So the real options: who are the 5 that we think is going to be there?
Who are the 5? Only one person is going to survive.
Who of the 5? We don't know who of the 5. They didn't list.
It's who of the 10. It's who of the 10.
We show the 5 who are dead. The big kahunas are gone.
You say they had a small funeral for all the other ones.
I'm gonna brass tacks this. Do you think Superman is gonna survive?
Hells no.
End of story. Okay, so everything else you're saying, okay, you're playing along, you're being a nice guy and everything of that nature to try to keep some interest up. We all know what's gonna happen.
Well, let's this another idea. Wait a second. So Brian Michael Bendis was the guy on this thing, and then now it's Josh Williamson. Is that what we're saying here?
That's what we're saying here.
Wow, that's terrible. What happened to your guy?
Yo, you can't do everything, bro. You can't save the world. Right?
Well, we see. Damn this. Damn you, son. There we go. A little better. The ominous sun in the back. All right, so we did it.
We broke the internet?
No, what else you want to say about this?
No, I think,
this guy made his bones on Infinite Frontier, and they said, let's kick out Bendis and get a real writer on this thing.
And if they do Infinite Frontier, they're going to be bringing all those new people there. That's a possibility to be added, plus a mix of what they have already, the whole bench. That's the 411 there.
Wonder Girl, Yara Flor? Yep. Who's that? Who wants any of these characters?
The Brazilian one.
Yeesh.
She's actually pretty popular.
I'm scared.
They keep drawing quite
Hey,
curves on her. That's what it is.
well, that helps, but she's actually been pretty well received.
Do we need another one? That's my question.
Well, they got it.
Well, I mean, you got between Wonder Woman, Donna Troy, Nubia, Wonder Girl, Cassie, I forget exactly, what's her name? Cassie Sands, and then the new Wonder Girl. And I think there's one more, I can't remember. And then you can even throw in Hippolyta if you want to. You got a lot.
Oh no, man.
You got a lot. It's not even a family situation any longer where they would have like the Batman family, Superman family, that sort of thing. You just got a lot. It's like, do we really need all of these cats? And then it becomes, all right, you had Cassie Sands there for the longest period of time, and that should have been the person who gets promoted to be Wonder Woman. And then they kind of just like, no, we're gonna push it to the side for, we're gonna push it to the side for the Brazilian Wonder Woman. That'll, that right there. So then it becomes okay. So, but then what do you do with that character? Because for the longest time, she's the placeholder for if anything happens to Wonder Woman. That's what you're selling the character for. And it's the same thing with same thing. Everybody would expect anything happens to Batman, who's gonna fill in? Robin. He's his partner. He's been trained, so on and so forth. No. We're going to put this guy up to the side, put Azrael in here. Huh? And then you're like, oh, yeah, of course that, man, it didn't work out. I wonder why. Because he's bat-scat crazy.
But we're going to throw in Rosario Dawson in this thing? Like, come on. This is totally...
See, I was with you up to that point, Sam. Once you said Rosario Dawson, now I must say a resounding yes.
I don't know, man. That quick.
Hey, you're not giving me a lot of choice. Would I like to see Rosario? Yes.
Wonder Girl. She's she ain't been a girl just even though she still looks a little bit like the way she looked when she was in the movie Kids. She ain't a girl no more.
She is there.
Or we got the other guy. Anyway, all right. So while you do can we close out the show?
Yeah. So hey, everybody, welcome back to. Hey, everybody. So if you like what you saw, give us a thumbs up, comments. If you have something to say, subscribe. Okay, we want to hear from everybody. We know it's a controversial topic, and hey, no hate now. It's been a wrap.
Out.